Hi there, my name is Alan Strydom and I am Director of HeartMath here in South Africa. And today I'd like to review and show you the new Inner Balance Trainer that was released this week from HeartMath. There it goes, there's the box. Really cool, funky looking box. I just want to go ahead and read on the box what it says here. It says, Inner Balance, transform stress, increase energy, build resilience, feel better, live better. And what Inner Balance is, the Inner Balance Trainer, it's an application and a connector used with iPhone, iPod Touch or an iPad. And let's go ahead and have a look and see what that connector looks like. So on the one end of the connector is a ear sensor, and this ear sensor has an infrared camera inside, and this ear sensor clips onto my ear like such. There's a little crocodile clip that clips onto your shirt, and what you want is you want a little bit of leeway between these two pieces here. You don't want tension on this wire in order to get a good signal. And then the other side of this ear clip is connected to this connector, this kind of dongle, and this we plug into the iPhone, iPod Touch or the iPad. So I'm going to use my iPhone. So I've got an iPhone 3GS, as you can see, and it works with 3GS, iPhone 4 and iPhone 5. With an iPhone 5 you might need that, well, you will need that there's another connector adapter, but you can easily get that from any computer store that sells Apple products. Anyway, so as I've plugged it in now, what you see here is it brings up that little screen, and it's going to be a bit tricky to show you the screen and also read it at the same time, but I'm going to try my best. It says here, Inner Balance would like to communicate with the HeartMath Pulse Pod accessory. Allow or ignore. I'm going to go ahead and allow it for now. And that's the first screen that I see. It says Inner Balance. I love this. I really like the look of this application. It feels good. Here's my welcome screen, and I'm just going to flick through that and show you what it looks like. An overview of the sessions. Right, that's the training coach, reviews, and journal. And then it speaks a little bit about HeartMath, and this is just showing you these icons down at the bottom here, what you kind of showing you around the application itself, and then the quick coherence, what quick coherence is all about. And just to quickly to read what it says there, it says, found in HeartMath you'll learn the skills for achieving quick coherence through heart focused breathing and heart feeling. Now the HeartMath that they're referring to here is of course the icon at the bottom here. When you tap on that, you'll go to HeartMath, a particular page inside the application which tells you more about HeartMath, and that is links to the website. So let's go ahead and flick one more time, swipe one more time, and now we're done and we're ready for our first session. Click done, and congratulations, feeling quite excited already. So you're now ready to begin your journey to a better and more centered you with Inner Balance. If you already have a sensor, please attach it now and tap to start training to continue. There we go. So I'm going to go tap there, and here's the first screen we see. So let's try and get it so you can see it nice and clearly. So what you're seeing here is the session view. I'm going to grab this pen and show you now. At the top here, in that strip over there, is, well, will be my heart rate. You'll see my heart rate, my heart rhythm pattern live as I start the session. Over here, this is the breathing pacer, and you will see colors start lighting up as we go around, and that's kind of the coherence ratio. Now coherence is a state of optimal harmony between the body and the mind and the emotions, and this is kind of the synchronization as well of when we look at the nervous system, and this is what Inner Balance Trainer is doing. It's looking at the way your nervous system and your heart responds to stress. So if your heart is speeding up, that's the sympathetic nervous system, and if your heart is slowing down, that's the parasympathetic nervous system. And I'll show you a little bit about that in a moment as well. So this is going to show us a coherence ratio of how the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems are working harmoniously together as we progress through the session. Here you can see some information or tips coming up, and then we have these icons at the bottom here which are session and review and journal and HeartMath, and by tapping on each one of those, of course, we'll get to those in a moment. So we also have settings at the top here, and then we have this little mood. Well, you'll see what happens now when I tap to start. So I'm going to tap to start, and what's happened now is that you'll see that these little faces come up asking me what is my disposition, my current mood before I start the session. So I'm feeling kind of chilled out. It's a lovely Friday afternoon here in Cape Town, and so I'm going to just click on that one there, and the arrow points down and it says there content, and then let's tap to begin. So we say done at the top here, and so the session begins. So what you'll see now is my pulse there. This is real time, live. There's this ear sensor. My pulse is showing up there in that strip there, and now it's moving to my heart rate variability, right? So the difference here is that the pulse is kind of the average heart rate over time, and this is specifically looking at the beat-to-beat changes in my heart rate. As I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you and I'm looking at the screen, I'm going into green, which is a state of high coherence in this case. And this will probably change as I go along and talk to you. I have been practicing HeartMath for quite a while now, about 2 years. So I'm quite used to being able to stay in a coherent state, speak through while focusing on my heart, my breathing, and remain quite clear in my mind as I'm speaking and doing the practice. I've learned to manage my stress. The more I focus on something stressful, it'll go red or blue. The more in sync I am with that coherent state. In other words, focusing on the heart, focusing on a positive emotion, it'll change to green. Okay. So you can also see that actually up here in this heart rate variability view at the top here is kind of the flexibility of those of the sympathetic and then the parasympathetic, and the way the two are working together. So before I get too technical about that, let me just take you through the application as I intended to in the first place. So what we're seeing here is I'm not following the breathing pacer at all, and this is basically just telling me, giving me tips, refocus on your breathing, follow the breathing pacer, feel a positive emotion, etc. So let's swipe to the next view. This is another view of that breathing pacer. Okay, so let's go along to the next one. Right, this screen here, okay, what you see at the bottom here is that the breathing pacer continues. So I'd be breathing in sync with this, breathing in and breathing out. This here is known as my inspiration. Now this is an image that comes along with the application, but if I go to the settings at the top here, I can change that image and I can place an image of whatever I want in there, whether it is a view of this beautiful scenery here, or somebody special in my life, or my pet, or whatever it is. I can place an image in there and I can focus on that image as I'm breathing in and out, and that image would be something that I love and I really appreciate, and it helps me get into that positive emotional state. Okay, so let's go to the next screen. Right, so here we start seeing a review of, or a summary of what's happening in real time, behind the scenes kind of. So let me talk you through this. Again, it's going to be difficult to do two things at once. So at the top here we have coherence, we have the time spent in session, And then we have achievement, which is the score, right? Over here we have the heart rate, actual heart rate waveforms, and this again is the coherence over time. Okay, so let's go to the next screen. Yeah, we're seeing the pulse wave happening in real time, and this is the very, for me as a coach and as a trainer for HeartMath, when I'm working one-on-one with people, this I find quite an interesting view to see. So you've also heard that we have M-Wave 2, which is the personal handheld unit, right? And then we have something called M-Wave Desktop. And in the desktop version, we have this, what we call the power spectrum view. Now this power spectrum, what you're seeing here is hertz down at the bottom, as in H-E-R-T-Z, hertz, and then a range of numbers going up on the left hand side here, and this is kind of the intensity. So if we look at the first, there we go, at that first bar, not bar but first area, that dark blue area, that is the sympathetic nervous system. So currently we see a little bit of activity in the sympathetic nervous system. Now what that means is that as my heart is speeding up and I am in fight or flight, really aware of things around me, focused on something that's grabbing my attention, any of that, that is the sympathetic activity going on there. Of course there's more to sympathetic nervous activity as well, from a physiological point of view, but we won't get into that right now. And then on this side here we have the parasympathetic, which is the heart rate slowing down. So when we looked at fight and flight, we're looking at freeze, that would be the parasympathetic right over there. The heart rate is slowing down. And then this area here is a mixture of the two, and that is kind of where coherence is. So when I say a mixture of the two, it's basically we're starting to regulate the amount of speeding up and slowing down, and we want to get a synchronization between those two. So what we're seeing here is coherence being a synchronization between the speeding up and slowing down of the heart rate. And so when we are in a situation, for instance, I'm sitting here and I might smell smoke, and I want a high heart rate in order to get away from the danger, right? But once I'm away from the fire, in this case, in this example, then I want a low heart rate again, so I want to be able to calm down quite quickly. So this speeding up and slowing down is flexibility in our heart rate, and our high heart rate variability or flexibility is a sign of good health. And this is what the Inner Balance Trainer is starting to train you to do. So you don't really need to know all of that science, but I wanted to just show you what you're actually seeing on the screen here. It's very, very interesting stuff. And by now learning to focus, let's go back to that first screen. There we go. By following the breathing paces, so as it goes down, I'm breathing out, I'm now breathing in. And then by focusing on the breathing pacer and focusing on a positive emotion, I'm now able to shift from that fight, flight or freeze response into something more coherent. Right, so let's double tap that to stop the session for now, and let's see what comes up. Here we go. So what we see now is where I was feeling peaceful earlier, what am I feeling now? And I'm feeling kind of happy, so I'm going to click on that one there. Okay, the arrow's moved to feeling happy. Yes, I'm feeling happy, and I'm going to say done at the top here. And here's the session review. So this is what my session was like. In this particular session now, while I'm busy talking to you, I was 24% normal or low coherence, 28% medium coherence, and 48% high coherence. Okay. The length of time that I've been talking to you and doing the session was 8 minutes and 21 seconds, and the score I achieved was 112. Okay, so that's the session overview, and you can also let's go down to journal. So yeah, down at the bottom when I clicked on journal, I'm now able to write in something about that session. So let's do that. Okay, it says there, enter a few words about your training. I'm going to tap on that, and so I can say, yeah, YouTube session. Here we go, YouTube session, and just going to click done. There we go, and let's go back to the review. So there's the history of all my sessions eventually. As you can see, this is a brand new app, and I'm just finding my way around it at the moment. But it's quite easy to find your way around it. It's very intuitive. Let's see what else we have here. We have settings at the top here. I'm going to click on that. And we have the sound effects volume, music volume. So I can actually, yes, I can add my own soundtrack. Here we go. I can navigate to my own soundtrack and have my own soundtrack playing while I'm in session. There's the challenge levels. So the challenge levels refer to the sensitivity of this ear sensor. So think of it like a microscope. Challenge level 1, you've zoomed out. Challenge level 2, you zoom in a bit closer. 3, you zoom in even more closer. And what you're zooming in on is those beat-to-beat changes in your heart rate pattern. So as you become more proficient in the practice of this, you can up your challenge level, meaning that you need to refine your practice and able to maintain coherence in whatever situation you're in. So let's see what else we have here. We have the breathing pacer, so we can actually come past it. We can actually set the breathing pacer according to our own breathing patterns. There we go. There's my inspiration. I can add an image in that I like. And then we have something called visibility. It shows you mini HRV, heart rate variability, or the mini breath pacer, and you can switch that on or off. Mood selection visibility. So we can say before a session, we can choose on or off if we want to see that mood selection before a session. After a session, we can choose to have it on or off as well. We don't need to see it, but I kind of like it. I like where I currently am and then looking to see where I will be. Or rather where I end up. It's quite cool. And then mood selection visibility linked to the journal entry. I think I like that on as well. That's quite cool. And then, this is quite nice, a reminder. We can actually add a reminder to our phone to remind us when to do a session. So that's the settings done. Let's see what else is there. Yes, I wanted to show you the HeartMath icon at the bottom here. That says HeartMath. Click on that, and we get taken to. There we go. Welcome to Inner Balance. The purpose of the Inner Balance app is to help you reduce stress, create inner balance, and enhance mental clarity. Let's see. Well, there's a practice plan. There are a couple of suggestions. And then there's some more information about HeartMath specifically, techniques, tools, and benefits, and other HeartMath products. So all in all, that is the Inner Balance Trainer from HeartMath. It's the new product to help you reduce stress wherever you go, because you always have your phone with you, at least your iPhone, and you might have an iPad with you, and it's quite easy to carry around. That's all you need is that wire. And it comes with a handy little pouch. Just pop that into the pouch, and you can carry it around wherever you go. And wherever you feel in stress, you can take a moment to take some time out, just go sit in a quiet corner somewhere, connect to the iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch, and just practice heart focus and heart focused breathing, using the breathing sense, breathing pacer at least. And the nice thing about this is that it gives you real-time feedback to where you currently are in your emotional state. And when you see that real-time feedback, you are then able to change it. And you can see the change occurring as well, and then you also can feel what it feels like. Right, so that's it for me, from me for now. Thanks for taking the time out to look at this review, and I hope to see you guys on around. Oh yes, by the way, you can find this, the app is available through iTunes. Just type in HeartMath Inner Balance Trainer on iTunes and you can find it there. And then if you're looking for the Inner Balance Trainer specifically, the product you can find on heartmathstore.co.za or heartmathstore.co.uk. So it is available in South Africa and the UK, and of course it's available in America as well at heartmath.com. So thanks very much for your time, and stay coherent.